Alright. So, X-Ice. Well, I guess I'll start off by saying X-Ice is 14% with the standard base 12 items for the 14% that don't skip charge. The standard base 12, and you get X-Ray and Ice. You couldn't tell by the title. So, I'm not going to go over everything. I'm kind of just going to skim over the things that are unique to this category. I will first, though, as I'm setting everything up with the like getting to the right spot and getting the right health and equipment and stuff, I will go over a couple of routes. So you can do the KPDR route, where you skip Phantoon first, which you would normally do in a 14%. You skip doing that, and instead you get Varia first. And the reason you would do that is if you were going to G mode into Phantoon's area, which is the fastest route at the moment. And then the other option would be to go PKDR, where you enter Meridian normally and you do the normal X climbs and stuff that you would see in like ED's representational video. So obviously, like I said before, the KPDR is faster, so you'd probably want to do that, but you can do either, as long as you finish the game with 40% of the items, and the two unique ones being X-Ray and Ice. So you would get Varia from Kraid, grab Ice, then you hop up to Phantoon. Now, I'll go over why we do certain things in a minute, but I'm just going to say it for now. So you would go up and you kill Phantoon, right? And I actually go 515 because I can bomb jump across the moat without grabbing the missiles, so I do that. I go 515, or at least I did in my world record, which is the current world record, which is my only and first run. So 515 for me. Most probably do 1010. Both are fine. So you would kill Phantoon, and then after beating Phantoon, you want to have nothing in your reserves, and then you would come down here and you would make sure to have full health. It might also be a good idea to just leave your reserves with stuff in them and stuff, and make sure you have full health when you get down here. And then what you do is, so let me, I'll just go over what you gotta do real quick. Let me just set myself to the right amount of energy tanks and reserve tanks. So, grab a reserve tank. If you're doing KPDR, grab a reserve tank. I grab Brinstar Reserve. So the E-tanks would be Terminator, Brinstar Reserve, and then Batwing. It's actually better to grab the reserve tank either way, even if you're not doing this, because it really, really, really helps a lot with Dragon, with making sure that you can get out of the fight alive. Because you can buffer hits that way, like quite easily, actually. So I definitely recommend getting a reserve tank. So right now I have one reserve and one E-tank, as you can see. So you empty your reserve, and then let me put Varia on, because you'd have Varia on at the time. So you empty the reserve, you have Varia, right? You damage boost, or you hit the spikes, and you hit the spikes, so you hit them twice. These spikes, it can be the ones down there, the ones up there. Don't hit the plants, don't hit any enemies or anything, just the spikes. I'm gonna come over here, and this guy will almost always drop you a big health if you have the full ammo and stuff. So you grab that. That puts me back to full health, and it puts 4 in my reserve. So you want 4 in your reserve. Alright? And then, if you're good enough, and you have full health, or not full health, you have health, and you have some, health in your reserve, too, you can do it like this as well. Let's see if I can... Oh, there we go. Then let's just take a little bit more. Alright, so you can pause, and you can set it to manual, and then you can just activate it, right? And then you press down and right immediately, like that. And if you're quick enough, you can actually get it to do only 1. That way you can get it to 4, so you can get pretty close. Right? And you can start going one at a time. And then it's actually fairly easy to do. Okay, there we go. So I accidentally did 2 at that time. But if you can get it to 4 that way, as long as you have 4 in your reserves. And then you want to come down and you go and you do X-ray. I expect that you would already know X-ray, but I can go over it. Why not? And by X-ray, I mean like, you know, the spiky hallway with the grapple blocks. But I can go over it. It's not a big deal. Don't really worry about taking damage. It's actually quite easy to do the X-ray since you have Varia and Ice. So if you like screw up, you can actually freeze the waivers. Let me just remove grapple because I'm not supposed to have that. There we go. Alright, so you come in like this. Do a mid-morph. Then after he hits the ceiling for the second time, you jump. Damage boost. I get hit right above the yapping maw once. Alright, that's my first hit. Then my second is right on the left side of that big pillar. Alright, so that's the second hit. And the third, I would do it right here on the second big pillar. Alright, so that's off the front weaver. That's the front weaver there. Alright, so I'm just gonna do it all in one nice fluid motion. Oh, screwed it up. You want to try and jump really late for that jump, so that you can get some distance. That was... see, I got hit by the fire flea. It's all pretty tight, so you want to make sure you have good movement up until there. And if you get too much distance, you can actually bounce too far, and you can recover by doing that. But you gotta... you know, it takes a little bit to recover. And if you know you got too much distance, you can actually recover like that as well. So, right above the yapping maw, left side of this big pillar, and then, oh wait, is it the right or the left one? I forget now. I think it's the right one actually. I'm just gonna do it, and then you can see. There's also a pretty good tutorial for this in Total's 80% glitch tutorial, so you can check that one out too. Yeah, it's the front one. And then I get hit about here, I damage boost to the yapping maw, and then you run your deboost to the left. Of course I screwed it up because I'm trying to actually get it, whereas other times it doesn't really matter. And if you screw up, like you can see, I like have like a lot of leftover health. So if you mess up, there's a lot of room to recover. So see, like right now, I have 60 plus 10. I have twice as much health that's necessary to do the fast strat, so I'm fine with health, and you want to be low health after you get out of here anyway, so it's all good if you like, you know, screw up. And I was supposed to shoot that, so the strat for this room would be to shoot that. So you'd shoot that and then you jump up there like that. That way the gate's up when you come back around. So anyway, you go in here and you're gonna have plenty of health, and actually if I have this much health, like if I did the beginning properly, I just go like I don't even care. And then I just like kind of just do that. So you would take 90 damage, and then kind of just hit stuff. Like it's not a big deal at all, because you want to be at low health. And there we go. That's good. And then I'm gonna try to teleport because I'm lazy. So the reason you want to be at low health is for this trick. So remember that this is all for the KPDR route. The PDKR or the PKDR route is much simpler. You can also go KPDR if you're not comfortable with the elephant tune. You can go KPDR like just for safety and then not do all this crazy stuff. But this is the fastest method. So I have 4 in my reserve, remember that. I have 4 health in my reserve, and it's on auto. Remember, make sure it's on auto. And this worm does 20 damage, so I can survive getting hit by him twice without going into reserves. So I want to be, by the time we get to that door up there that leads to the save, I want to be 1 hit away from going into reserves. So I want to be at 20 or less. And that's kind of key. Oops. And it doesn't really matter if you got that health, because you can just get hit by this worm to get rid of it. I can still survive 2 hits, so I'm just gonna take I usually take my free hit right here if I have one. That way I can just get to the other side of him easily. Like if I can save it until then. And you want to get really close to this door. Alright, so you want to get really close to this door, so you can do X-ray walking to get close, where you just really hold right and release X-ray for a split second. Alright? And then what you want to do from this point on is... Okay, I'm just going to demonstrate it once and then I'll explain it slowly after. What? Wait, what the hell just happened? Oh! I had 1 health when that cacti hit me and it put me into reserves. God dang it. Give me a minute to set this back up. That is absurd. Let me just do it this way. That's why I love this ROM hack. So... And then if you weren't able to set all that stuff up, like before, you can just farm till, like, farm your health full and get a little bit in reserves here. And then just do it that way. And then I usually just sit here for a minute. Actually, the worm does a good bit of damage, so if you're not actually low, you can always just hit him for a while, because you're waiting for him anyway. So yeah, if you're not comfortable with, like, doing the setup for this as you're, like, getting your health at the right spot and everything as you're going through the run, you can always just, you know, do it now. It's no big deal. I mean, the world record is pretty free at the moment, to be honest. Alright, that time that won't mess me up. So I can still survive 3. Okay, now I'm at 2. Let's take the hit and then go to the left. Alright, so back where we were. So you want to get really close to this door. I usually, my visual cue for where to jump is when the worm gets to about there. I jump up and then I down grab it and he's still on screen enough. So anyway, you get really close to the door. And to do that you can do mini X-ray steps, and this is about as close as you can get to the door. So then you want to make sure you have X-ray selected. Alright, then I'm just going to demonstrate it once. And I'll go over what happens after. Alright, so now you can see everything's kind of frozen. Like, I can't activate the save, the door shell's still open, it's not actually invisible, I can go through. Alright, so then you go through. And at this point, like, they won't shoot anything. But their projectiles are still there, so I can get hit by them. So you want to be careful not to get hit by them. Which, I think they're there. Oh no, this is indirect G mode, so I can't. Never mind. Forget what I just said about them being there. So, from there, you would just... Let me do it again, because I messed it up by trying that. I would have save stated, but I didn't want to mess up my save state that I already had. Alright, so, from there you would just... And this is a fairly easy trick. You've got... what was it? It was 5 frames of leeway, I believe, or maybe it's 4. So you would come over here, and you just X-ray when you're like... Alright, so if you're past this purple thing, you can X-ray. And this is where the door is, right up against this wall. So like once you pass this purple thing, X-ray, and then shoot the door, and go through. And now I am in Meridia, and I've skipped Main Street. And then, be very careful here, 1 hit and you're dead. So I farmed them once like that, and then I just do them 3 at a time like this. I'll do this a couple times. But back to explaining that trick. So, let me slow it down a little bit. Is that slow or is that just... I think it is slow, but it's like really weird slow. That's not slow. Okay. I'll just do it normally. So, actually... Okay, so... Right here, you can see the front part of that worm. I'm using frame advance. The front part of that worm, it has that red part. Once that reaches your foot right there, you take a step into the door. Alright? So, that's the first visual cue. So once that red part reaches your foot, step into the door. And you should actually have X-ray selected. I don't at the moment because I was trying to set up that frame advance. But so the visual cue to start walking is when that reaches your foot. When the red reaches your foot. from there, you're gonna just hold B or dash, which is X-ray. So that's why you have X-ray selected. You hold that until the door loads, and as soon as the game starts accepting inputs, I guess you could say, as soon as that happens, you release B. Now, I don't have any visual cue for this. I kind of just feel it out. I can kind of tell when the game, and like I said, there's 5 frames of leeway, so it's mildly consistent. Like I don't miss it very often. I'd say I get it at least 80% of the time, and that's not even being too generous. So I'll demonstrate it again. Alright, so select X-ray, wait for the thing to reach your foot, step forward, hold B, release, and then there we go. Now, if you want to find out a visual cue that works for yourself, then go right ahead. I tried earlier today to find one, and I really couldn't. Like, I was trying to figure out what, wait, right there, I missed it. I was trying to figure out what, like, triggered me to realize to press B. I guess just after playing this game for a little while, you kind of get a feel for it. So yeah, that's as much as I can say. So yeah. And then, so yeah, the door shell will be open, you walk through it, and you just come right up here, go through the tunnel. And then I like to select power buttons as I'm going through. And once you pass the purple, you can select this to X-ray and then shoot the door and then go. And then I explained all that before. So then, like I said before, I like to farm like this for the first one, and kill them 3 at a time. Although I messed it up, but I can also just refill. So then after you do that, I like to do this, just it gets me right across that little gap. And then I tried to down back and I messed it up. And then for this room, I actually already have a tutorial for high jumpless suitless Meridia. So I'm actually going to skip all of this. Let me think how far I think I made the tutorial all the way through Coliseum. But I did make a new strat for Coliseum earlier today. I just did it earlier today. So I'm going to go over that real quick. So let's I'm going to turn on gravity and teleport to Dragon. So I'll link that in the description so that you can watch that. And then if you were to start from Main Street and not do any of the G mode, you would basically, Crate first or Phantoon first, whichever you're comfortable with. I'll just tell you this much. I highly recommend getting a reserve, and you're going to need X-ray and ice before you come into Meridia. And you're going to want all of your ammo already, unless you're grabbing crab supers as one of your super packs, which is perfectly fine. If you're not skipping Moat Missile, which I don't think anyone would be, other than like ED or something, you want to grab that if you're not fighting Phantoon. I used to save Phantoon till the end and just grab the missile early. I stopped doing that, so, whatever you're comfortable with, you just want to have 10-10 or 5-15 if you can do that. And then, you want to have X-ray and ice. Alright? And Varia. You want Varia. So, and then whether or not you do the G mode is up to you, but like I said, it's a lot faster. I lost my train of thought for a minute. There's one more thing I wanted to say. Oh yeah, so, yeah, my Suitless Meridia tutorial also goes over Main Street. So, what am I doing? So you, if you're not going to be doing the G mode, you might want to check that out. I would highly recommend it, actually, unless you're like Schmemin. You already know how to do it. So let me just get to the other side of Coliseum so I can show off this new strat that I thought of. It's just about as consistent, it's just a little easier, because since you don't have blue suit, you don't have to worry about not stepping in the sand. So you don't really need to, you don't need to be careful about that. So let me turn off gravity now. Yo, OST, what's up, man? Thank you. I just loaded state like an idiot. Alright, minor setback. So, the strat is basically, it's only different for the first Metroid, actually. So, I don't know why I'm making it seem like it's like this whole new crazy thing. In my opinion, it's just as consistent, and I'm probably going to start doing it for runs. Because I did it quite a few times today, like in a row, and it was fairly consistent. Just about as consistent as the other strat. The other strat's a little annoying though, because when you want to jump, sometimes you you're a little bit too far into the water or something, so you can't jump. And that's kind of why I wanted to come up with this. Credit to ED, I guess, because he suggested I do this for something else, and then I decided to bring it into X's as well. So credit to him. I did it again. What is wrong with me? I really hate the game saver. I can't wait till I get an SD to SNES so I can use the actual, not horrible controls for saving and loading. If I would just like remember to save state more often. Alright, let me see if I don't screw it up this time. Actually, you know what? Whoops, what am I doing? Oh, nice. Screwed that up. There we go. Alrighty. And the one time I don't accidentally load state. Alright, this is a good place to save, so let me turn off area, or gravity. Alright, so the new strat for this room. It's only for the first Metroid. It's only. So you would charge a shot, right? And then I'll just show off the old strat, I guess, first. So you would do this. And you're climbing like this. And the reason this is the strat is because this is for Ice Booster. I kind of just pulled, when I first started doing this category, I kind of just pulled all the strats from Ice Booster. And the reason you do this for Ice Booster is because you don't want to fall in the sand, because then you lose Blue Suit. So, what you would have done is you would have gotten to the top of this, and then you would have jumped, got hit by the spike, and then jumped off the spike. I screwed up, so I didn't demonstrate it. But the new strat is this. Jump to the right. You do this. One jump. Aim down, and like that. And then you can climb it right up the wall. That way you can just wall jump once you get high enough. I'm gonna try and get it so that I can do it in only 2 freezes instead of 1. And now that I think about it, you actually might be able to just jump to that wall from the original spot. Let's see if it's possible. I think, oh, okay, just gonna do whatever you want, Metroid. Alright, because I think in Ice Booster, you wouldn't be able to do that, obviously, because you can't run. But in this, you can run, so it's a little bit easier. I hate when it's like this close to the water, because you can't really do a crouch jump, or else you... Okay, cool. I didn't get to finish my thought. So yeah, it's pretty tight. I think you can make it, though, but this strat is very consistent, so you just... I'll go by piece, so you... Charge shot him, once he gets to the top, you jump once, jump twice, freeze him, and fall through him because you're dumb. So shoot him, don't put him off screen, jump across, and he'll line himself up with that ball and everything. It's very consistent. He lines himself up and then he comes down from below, because you want him to come from below so that you can jump up here like this. Trying to see if I can get it in 2 jumps, or in 2 freezes rather. That would save a decent amount of time, and maybe a couple seconds. And just like a free 2 seconds. That was really bad. But anyway, you get the gist of it. It's pretty simple. I mean, this could be done for Ice Booster. It's just quite a pain in the ass to do it, like to jump through the sand with Blue Suit. And then from here you continue like normal way to the wall jump with the morph. And do this. You boost across, run and jump. And there you go, and you load state by accident because you're dumb. So, that wasn't really what I wanted to go over though. I wanted to go over messing up full half. I wanted to go over Dragon Fight. So if I could just make it there, that would be beautiful. There we go. Alright, so Dragon. She's a pain in the ass. So this is where the reserve really comes into play, and I should have 2 E-tanks. Never grab Bachu an E-tank. Alright, there we go. So, shoutouts to Total, because this ROM hack is awesome. I freaking put it state. Shoutouts to Game Saver because their controls suck. Alright, let's not mess anything up. This time I'm just not gonna press L ever. It's okay if you accidentally save because it's perfectly fine. Alright, so I'm kinda just gonna go over simply what my strategy would be. So what I would want to do is I have different ammo than what most would have. I go 5.15 like I said, but I open it up with four shots, which I audio cue with right there. So it's like dude, like the most excited loop of it. So it's like like the really happy one, excited, the really like, oh man, here she comes. That one is when she comes. It's like, and then right when that note is about to end, I shoot 4 supers as quickly as I can, like that. So that gets her down to 4,800. And then from here, you just want to keep track of your ammo. So I'm not really gonna keep track of it because I don't feel like it. I don't need to. I'm not doing a run. And by keep track of your ammo, I mean how much damage you do to her. But I will go over my strats. So I don't really do anything on swoops. So after she just gooed from left to right. So I break all the goo and stuff, and I'll go over the way I did that. Which my strat isn't the best strat, I wouldn't say, but it gets me through. So she gooed left to right. I broke the goo in my way, and then I shot her a couple times, and then I morphed onto her, which I actually didn't do. I wasn't really focusing. And then you know she's gonna swoop right to left after that. So I go all the way to the left and have the left screen loaded as as far to the left as possible. And the goal here is to get her to start going as soon as possible. That way it ends quicker, and I can start shooting earlier. The earlier you start shooting, the more you can shoot her with before having to roll. Because there's a point where she goes too low, so you can't roll onto her. So the earlier she stops going, the more shots you can get in on her. So I go really far to the left, and I'm just gonna use supers this whole fight. And then if she takes a little while to start going, because I can tell, I jump, and then my visual cue for the right side when she's doing left to right goo is I jump to this pole and I turn to the left in midair, so I'd be like this, and then I'd stop and I'd like L break or whatever. I actually usually break or shoot, and then I just start shooting them. I just jump and shoot, and then I can sort of aim at them if I see where they're coming from. I hit them. All right, and then that was really sick. And then as she's getting closer, I start shooting her with stuff, missiles, supers, whatever I've got. And then I load my state like an idiot. I can always just go over all this after the fight, actually. Why don't I do that? So let's just kill her. Yeah, I'm really making an ass out of myself with this whole Game Saver thing. I really don't like the Game Saver controls. Alright, so I hear her start going, or she takes too long to swoop, because from the left side to the right, she swoops a lot quicker than from the right side to the left. If she's over here and she's about to swoop, like right to left, I'm doing gestures with my hand. You can't see that. I don't know why I'm doing it, but if she's about to shoot right to left, so she's behind this wall, she takes quite a while to start coming out. But if she's over here, she does it like almost immediately. So that's when I can kind of tell. So if she takes a little minute, I'll be like, alright. Then I wait till I just barely see her head, or I start hearing goo, whichever one happens first. Then I do my big jump and I turn and I start shooting. I kind of just do crazy shots while she's off screen. Then when I start seeing them, I kind of aim for them a little bit and stuff with angle and all that crap. And then I start, nailing into her with all I've got, right? And then I morph under her and I roll left. I go all the way left. I go all the way to the opposite side of the room because I'm not going to shoot her during the swoops because I'm trying to keep track of how much damage I do to her. It's very difficult to do that if you accidentally hit her off screen or something. So I like to only shoot her when she's on screen. Sometimes I get a little greedy, shoot her while she's off screen. That kind of comes back to bite me in the ass. But anyway, then if she goos again, I do it again. If she swoops, then I roll. I stay in morph ball. I roll all the way to the right, and let's say she goos. So now I'm over here, so she's going right to left. Alright, so then I jump to the left, And then I usually stop somewhere around like from the left side of this pole to this crab. It kind of varies somewhere over here. And then I do the same thing. I just jump and shoot and aim on them. Now, when she's going right to left, it's a lot harder to shoot them. Or it's a little more difficult because she's got different patterns from when she's going left to right and right to left. So some of the patterns are the patterns when you're on this side are a lot more annoying than the other ones, it seems. And also, if you get grabbed on the right side, sometimes she just like gives up on you for no reason. You know, I'm sure you've all seen it where like you get grabbed like right here, like you get gooed right here, and she's like right here, and you get gooed, and then she kind of just doesn't care about grabbing you. But over here, if you get gooed, she grabs you no matter what. Like just set in stone, she grabs you if you get gooed. She's going right to left. So you shoot all the goos and you shoot her and stuff. You know, you keep going, and your goal is to shoot her. So each super is 300 damage, and so the way I count, and you can count however however you want. I'm just gonna I'm gonna let you know how I count because it's pretty easy. I keep track of my super missiles. So I say, okay, I have 12 super missiles when I get into the room. So okay, let's say I go 10-10, right? So I shoot the green door up in the right below the save. I shoot that with the super, obviously, and then I farm it back from the Metroids. So I'm still 10-10. I shoot the eye door with a super. That makes me 10-9. I shoot the top right turret with a super. So that makes me 10-8. And I shoot the other two with missiles. So that makes me 4-8. So, okay, 8 supers. I said that in my head. 8 supers. So I start shooting all my supers. If she drops any more supers, I add one number. So then I go, okay, it was 9 supers. All I'm doing is keeping track of how many supers globally I've had during the fight. Once I get down to 0, I say, okay, my number was, 8 or 9 or whatever the fuck my number was. Right, so let's say it was 8. Multiply that by 3. So the way I count is by missile damage. So I say, okay, I did 8 supers. Each super is 3 missiles. So 8 times 3, that's 24. So I'm at 24. Your goal is to get to 59. That's how many missiles you want to shoot with. So I'm at 24 missiles right now. Then I keep shooting missiles. Every super drop I get, I add 3. So I'm shooting missiles. I usually shoot 3 or 4 at a time. So, 2,700. That's actually how much damage did 2,700. So 27, 31. Oh, I got a super, 34. Things like that. And you keep going up. You get to 59. You shoot her with one single charge shot. So, if you're at 51 missiles, crap. If you're at 51 missiles, that means she has 100 health left. One charge shot of this does 90 damage, so she has 10 health when you're done with her. Alright, and this is where you get to the tricky part. I think I've gone over everything about the fight. It's very difficult, and it was very confusing the way I explained it. I'd recommend just doing it a couple times, and just getting a feel for it, Do it my way. That's what I'd say. I said do it my way, and then if you change something, good for you. You've made it your own strat. You've modified my strat to make it your own, and then kudos to you for coming up with something. Whatever works for you. Practice makes perfect. Do it over and over again until you get it. So, I've done this fight like a million times now, because I've only finished one run, but there have been quite a few runs. And then a lot of them had like 3 or 4 Dragon fights, because I suck. So let's load state, because I want to go over what to do when you beat her. So, I'll start off. I'll use all supers, but I'll do my my normal strats, and then I'll only refill my health if I start getting low, because I'd like screw up and take a bunch of hits. Let's just save state here. And then also I jump to the right side of the room, and then I move to the left. And then once that turret's like on screen, that's when I stop moving to the left. And also the sound cue is off by a little bit because I loaded the room with the music and everything. I usually let bombs randomly just because I'm weird like that. So that time I thought she was gonna go and she didn't, so I just crouched back down. So now I didn't get there in time for the goo, so I kind of like went back further than I normally would. Oh, got hit. It's not really a big deal if you think she's gonna go and you're wrong, because all you do is you usually have only just unmorphed once, so you can always just morph pretty quickly, and then you're good to go. The annoying thing is when she starts swooping back and forth a lot, because then you're kind of like you get really off sync and you won't be able to make it. Like, if she'd done another swoop and then gone all the way to the left and gooed, I wouldn't have been ready for it. Like, see right there, I got a super drop, so I would add 1 to my total. My total was 50 though, so you would never have to. So it's a pretty easy fight. It's kind of monotonous, kind of tedious, but it's fairly easy. Now I'm just gonna start shooting because I don't feel like. Oh crap! Almost just died. Oh yeah, the way I get ungrabbed. So any direction you press counts as 1 press. You want to press it 60 times to get ungrabbed. Remember that number, 60 times. So a lot of people do just left and right. Well, I do left and right, and then I kind of push the tops of them so it hits the up as I go across. So then I do that, and I press them really fast. If you look at the input controls, you can see I'm pressing like all 3 of them really fast. Snick also rolls it like this. So he rolls his thumb all over the D-pad. I wish I could show you, but I can't really do it. So he rolls his thumb all over the D-pad. I personally think this is faster. I just like kind of put it on my leg, and I put both my fingers on the tops of the 2 buttons, and I kind of just roll the D-pad back and forth. Or roll the controller back and forth. I kind of just... What I actually do is I press down hard with my left hand, and then I push down even harder with my right hand repeatedly. And that way, it's always wanting to go left, but then I'm pressing down harder with the right side. It's like I'm kind of seesawing it over the upward part. The upward part is kind of like the full part. So it's actually pretty fast. Oh. Damn it. Alright, 1 missile. And now I gotta shoot her with the shot. Ah, she's being really dumb. Alright, there we go. So see, she has 10 health. So now I want to get gooed and grabbed. And you want to set your reserve to manual at this point. You can leave it on auto just in case she accidentally takes you down too low or whatever. But you want to set it to auto after you're ready to get grabbed. Grab. Alright. So now you're just hoping for a goo from the left side. So you're just going to sit here and wait once you get down to 10 health. See, like it's pretty fast. If you want to try Snick's method and get good at that one, by all means go for it. You know, whatever works for you, do it. That's what anyone would do. They do whatever works for them. I really don't find Snick's method very easy. It's because I'm right-handed, so it's a lot easier for me to just use my right hand. I think you can actually flip it to be left-handed way, like my method. So you just hold down with your right and you press left really hard. I can't do it as fast because I'm not left-handed, but if you were left-handed and that felt more comfortable for you, like I said, just do whatever works for you. Like I'd say try my methods and then you'll kind of modify it on your own subconsciously. You'll kind of like be like, oh, it's a little bit easier if I do this, and then like you'll start doing that, you know. Most of the stuff that I say isn't set in stone. I'll give you the dry run of the fight. Get her down to 10 health, however you want. Alright, super missiles do 300. Missiles do 100. She has 60 health. So that would be 60 missiles, 20 supers, whatever. Missiles do 300. Or missiles do 100, super missiles do 300. And charge shot does 90. There you go. Get her down to 10 health. And then get grabbed by the left. Alright, so that's basically the dry run of it, and then you can figure out any shots you want. So from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you're counting the presses. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and I died. So you don't want to die. Alright, so I'm going to do it a little bit faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright. I definitely pressed it 60 times by accident because I wasn't paying attention. But at this point, she does 80 I can't talk. She does 80 damage to you when she hits you. So at this point, I'm about to die. Next hit, I'm dead, but I have my reserve. So once you see her stop, you press start. You can't die during the pause fade out. you can't die during that, so it'll just pause while you have 0 health. Then you empty a little tiny bit like that. Alright, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't need to be like 1. So basically, if you can see where I'm coming from with this, a reserve basically equals 100 free hits on Dragon, which is way more than enough to make it. Even if you empty 10 each time, that's an easy 10 free hits, which is, even if you were doing that from the start, more than enough to make it. So you'll be fine. It's good to have those initial 3. Oh, and by the way, sorry for cutting myself off, but you can have the minimum amount of health that you need to have, or that it would be ideal to have before getting grabbed is 240. If you have any more than that, you're gonna lose that all in one thing. So you can see I had 59 before. Well, if I only had 241, I would have 1. Either way, I'm 1 hit away from dying. Even if I had 319, I'd still be 1 hit away from dying after getting 3 hits. So as long as you're above, if that made sense, good. If that didn't make any sense, completely disregard it because it's not that important. But yeah, just be at least above 240 to get the full 3 hits from the full 3 free hits. So anyway, so from here, so I'm a couple taps away from, so you see I just pause as it hits me. And then my thing says 60 health, but I actually have 0, it doesn't update. So now that says 4. So I'm a couple taps away, taps on the D-pad away from being dropped. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to get dropped on that platform up there. So it's really easy to be ready for it. You just kind of sit there when she stops moving. It gets a little harder as you get close to the platform, but you just wait for it to stop moving. Once you see it, just press the button. Alright, and then to get dropped, use right and up to get dropped. Because you see, if you use left and you turn around, you're going to fall down. You don't want to fall down, you want to be up here. So you use right and left so that you can't fall. You can't move to the left at all. All you can do is move to the right. So right and up. And then you should only be, like, if you miscount it a little bit, you'll be like 4 taps away or whatever. But once she kind of pulls you into this general area, just go like that, and you'll kind of get like 12 or so hits. 12 or so taps. You want to be very close to 20, or to 60, I mean. Remember, it takes 60 taps to get dropped. So I'll just do it all in one big thing right now. Someone's not paying attention. Oh well. Alright, so from here, she's going left to right. So she's going to come from the left side after she drops you. So at this point, you want to keep track of what's going on. So she's going left to right. Now I'm just going to throw some numbers out there for you. Whether you use them or not, it's to your call. But what you want is you want a swoop from the left. That's the only thing you're going to be able to hit her with. Alright, so if she's swooping from left to right, that's when you'll be able to hit her. Otherwise, you won't be able to hit her. If she's going left to right, you won't be able to hit her. If she's going right to left, you won't be able to hit her. If she's swooping right to left, you won't be able to hit her. You want to swoop from left to right. So, anything you hit her with will kill her. At this point, you'll have at least 5 missiles. So you want to be full on ammo before you get grabbed. I forgot to mention that, but it's kind of self-explanatory. Want to be full on ammo. When I did it, I only have 5 missiles, which kind of scared me a little bit. But you would probably have 10. So it's good to use missiles towards the beginning if you're kind of sure. If you on a pattern where you have a timing for, which I'm going to go over the timings in a minute. So use missiles on the patterns that you're pretty confident in your timing with. I'd say you can only really be confident in the ones where you know she's going to swoop. And that's the only one where you know she's going to swoop left to right is Goo from right side to left. She has to swoop left to right after that. So if you can keep track of things properly, and she appears on screen a couple of times. So let me just save state right here. But let me just get this set up real quick. So you want to be really close to the edge, and then jump and morph, and land, and then unmorph. Alright, that's how you want to be. And she just gooed left to right, so she's gonna swoop. Now when she swoops, okay, well, this is gonna be kind of confusing, it doesn't really matter. So disregard this if you would like. I'm just gonna throw this out there. When she goos from left to right, she's gonna swoop from right to left. Alright, that's just a given. She always swoops after a goo. Now, the swoop from right to left after a goo is a little different than the normal swoop from right to left after just a swoop. She comes down from the top right corner, so you're going to see her right next to the door. And that you can use as a timing. After she goes off screen, I like to count 3 seconds. I was actually working earlier today on a method using the auto fire for timing, but that's only if you're going to be shooting missiles. So I'm not going to be shooting missiles. So I'm going to leave charge on. So you count 3 seconds after she disappears off screen, and then you shoot. So she swooped left to right. Wait, what the hell? Was that left to right or right to left? That was left to right. Why did she go right to left? What is she doing? Oh, I might have missed a pattern earlier. Okay, well, scratch everything I was just saying. So, weird. Anyway, we can talk about this now. So now you're getting goo from right to left. Okay? So, the timing for this is once you stop hearing the goo, that's when I start holding shoot. So you can see I turned off charge so she'll auto fire. So once you stop seeing the goo, you start holding shoot. This is just my method. I'm just throwing this out there. And after the 16th shot, you angle down and shoot 5 missiles. I do 5 because it's a nice even split when you have 10, and usually 5 will get her fairly easily. If you have 10, go for all 10 if you're very confident in the timing. You can work out your own timings. I'm just doing this because it seems rather consistent because it's determined by the game. But, you know, so you shoot however many missiles you're comfortable with. I'm not going to tell you how many to shoot. I shoot 5 because I would only have 5 because I go 5-15, so I shoot 5. So I'll just demonstrate it once and then I'll go over it in a minute. So as you saw, that killed her. When you get auto 4 stand, that means she's dead. I just kind of reset the save just as it happened. You can hear the audio, right? Yeah, you can. Alright. So, if you couldn't tell, I waited for the goo to stop. It's a little hard to hear when the music is blaring. Thankfully, the music isn't there right now, but it will be there when you're actually playing. So just keep that in mind. The music is very, very loud in comparison to the sound effects. So once you... I'll just go over it one more time real quick. Once you hear the goo stop, once you hear the last goo, and you don't hear one afterwards, start shooting. Just like, and by shooting I mean just hold shoot. And then once you shoot the 16th shot, I'm already angling down. I just press select to select missiles, and I shoot 5 missiles. And it's pretty damn consistent. Alright, and sometimes you just start shooting at the wrong point. I never said it was 100%. It's just it's pretty consistent. I did it earlier today, I think 3 times in a row. See, there I was a little bit late because I started shooting late. I wasn't paying attention. There we go, I only shot 4 that time. I'm not positive about this, but if you're really crazy, you could count how many goos come out, and I'd guess that the same amount of goos come out for each type of goo, each pattern that she can give, but I'm not going to say anything. If you want to test that, by all means, go ahead. But I'd assume that it's the same number of goos, but I'm not guaranteeing anything there. So if you want to look into that and then count the number of goos that you know when the last one is, and then base your timing off that, it's fine by me. You can also start from when you hear the first goo. It's whatever you want to do. Alright, that was really early, so maybe 25 or 26 shots. That was 25, so it was a little too late. So maybe 23, 24. You know, you can experiment with this. You can work on your little setups. It took me like maybe 10 minutes to learn the 16 shot one that I did. And it's pretty damn consistent. And then once you're out of missiles, or if you don't feel comfortable using missiles, you can always just go with the generic spam charge shots method. And like I said before, there were other timings. So right there you can see that she swooped. She swooped left to right. You saw her swoop left to right. You don't shoot during that. Or, you do shoot during that. My bad. She swoops left to right, and you would shoot her. If you miss, then you'll see a little bit of her in the bottom left corner of the screen. If you see that, you wait about 1.5 seconds, then you release your charge shot, and it should hit her. I'm not guaranteeing anything, but that's a mildly easy one to time because it's so short. The other one, like I said, is if you see her swoop from high up right to left, once she goes on screen, you count 3 seconds and you shoot, and that seems to be pretty good. 3 seconds, 3.5. You know, you can experiment, like I said. Are there any other timings? Right to left goo, both right to left swoops. Nope, no more other timings. So, and then if worse comes to worse, you can always go with the generic, just spam charge shots. You know, and if she goes to left to right, you're just screwed. You can't do anything. So yeah. So right there, I mistimed it. That's about it for Dragon, I think. I guess I'll go over the extra climb, why not? That was a little late, I'm gonna do 15. Actually, I'm just gonna reload my state like an idiot. I wasn't really paying attention, to be honest. Wow, I must suck. Crap, why do I keep doing that? And I do count both the fast shots at the beginning as shots. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, now. There we go. Alright, so she's gonna get taken up. And then I'll go over the extra climbing just because it's easy. So, if you're paying attention, on one of your... well, I guess you couldn't, because you need to do the morph jump to scroll the screen down. Turn morph off, and then wait for the door to open. Get pretty close in there. X-ray turn around, and then stationary spin jump. And once you pass the center of the door shell, tap left. So first stationary spin jump, stationary spin jump. And Fuzda has the tutorial for this on his channel, and I don't know how to stationary spin jump anymore. That was way too early. Oh, apparently I didn't save state. Oh, I told myself to save state, I guess I just didn't. What the fuck is wrong with me, dude? This is getting annoying now because I've done this like 12 times. There we go. Alright. So turn morph off. Just for safety so you don't accidentally morph, and you can also turn charge back on at that point. Alright, so that's what you want. You want to be kind of like horizontal. Alright, we're gonna crouch. So I'll explain the basis of X-ray climbing. So X-ray climbing, you want to turn around and then release B as she's turning around while X-raying. It's like that. And she stands up, and then you crouch again. And as you can see, each crouch moves me up a little bit. Alright. And so the reason I'm not doing it from left to right is because if I turn, I fall out of the door. So I don't want to do it like that because it's very easy for me to do this and then accidentally fall out. You see? So when you're in a when you're not within completely encased by solid blocks, you want to do one wall or one side X-ray climbs where you only turn towards the wall, and then you can see the solid blocks above me. Once I get to them, I can start doing double-sided ones. And basically double-sided ones are the same as singles, except once you get back on screen I'll explain. So singles, you would do it like this, right? You would that, you craft, and you turn back around using X-ray to turn around. Well, here you just do an X-ray climb from right to left. So you can see I turn around each time, or I stand up each time I turn around. Whereas here it will be like this. Wait, I can't do these ones as fast. So you can see I don't stand up on the left to right turn around. But then for this one I turn around. Or I stand up for both turn arounds, my bad. So, I started at the door, right? And then I went up and around. Now I've passed the door once. So you want to pass the door once. And then you can also use the map to track where you are. I kind of just keep track of where I am because it's not hard. So I've passed the door once. And next time I get to the door, that's the actual door. Doors are always centered on the screens. So this door shell that you can see here is actually where the door shell is. So once you get to about here, you can actually angle up, shoot the door, then jump, and then just keep jumping to scroll the screen up so you don't have a bad transition, and walk out like that. And then shoot that guy 4 times and get up like this. And then you X-ray climb. And then I think I went over. I actually didn't go over the reverse. Crap. I didn't go over reverse strats in my video, did I? I don't think I did in my Citizen Ready as well. I'll just do them with gravity because it's not very much different. So you would actually go into the save room, fill up and everything, and then you would run from the save room to the left, and you'd have a lot of speed and you'd be able to easily make it across this and get into the water. I actually did it without touching the water from there. Make sure you turn morph back on, right? And then do this the same way you did it on the way over, so with the damage boost and everything. That's the way I do it, at least. You could also do it like this. No, not like that. Because I forgot to turn morph on. I really often forget to turn morph on, so don't feel bad if you forget to turn morph on. Oh, also save. Just put that out there. You pass the save anyway. You can also do it like this, just to be safe. And then just actually jump instead of fall. And here you basically do all these the same way, except for this one. So you actually wall jump there and not fall. Then you just jump right over to here via this wall, so you would wall jump like that. Alright, and then from here I actually do get hit here, and then I keep going left. Then you wouldn't have gravity, but you kind of just come over here and then climb this guy up. It's pretty simple. Not really gonna go super in depth because it's not too big of a deal. And there are a few methods where you can escape Meridia. Number one being you could do the 12% ball boost, which sucks. Or you could do the method I use, and I'll go over that in a second. So I would actually drop down that sand pit over there, so let's do that. I never killed Button. Oh yeah, I never went over bot wound clip. Actually, I think I did that in my tutorial. Never mind. Yeah, you should know how to do ice clip if you're gonna actually attempt this cutting now. I feel like it's just like a must. So you drop down that way, you come this way. I'm just kind of skimming over these things. It's pretty easy. I'm kind of just going over the hard parts, to be honest. Just want to get the general route and stuff out there. So what you would do here is you would actually X climb up this door too. So you would go into the save room. You go into the save room, and then you get stuck in this door shell right here. And I actually don't turn off morph for this one just because it's so short. The reason you turn off morph is so that if you accidentally morph inside of the wall, which I'll go over real quick, I guess. Alright, fine by me. So if you morph inside the wall, I can't move to the left, right? And then if I were in completely solid blocks, I wouldn't be able to move to the left or the right. I'd be stuck. But since I'm in the door shell and I have air right here, I can move to the right. But normally you wouldn't be able to move in either direction. That's why you turn off morph. But I said all that because I wanted to say that I don't turn off morph for this one because it's so short. You go up, and once you get to the door shell, you go. And to be honest, underwater wall climbing is, or underwater X-ray climbing is really easy once you get the hang of it. The only reason I don't really do that at Dragon, I probably could get away with it. I just really don't want to have to redo Dragon. It's quite a long fight. So for this room's actually a pain in the ass because it's pretty easy to screw up. But one of these crabs moves off screen. It's this one right here. 3. So I shot that crab on the left 6 times, then I shot the one up top 3 times, so just freeze this guy here. And then 1, 2, 3. Oh. So you want him to be 1 shot away from freezing like that. I think I can still do this. Almost. Well, I'll go over the backup shot. So what you wanted to do is actually freeze that top guy like halfway on that gap, so that you can jump from the bottom crab to the top one, and you can actually make that if you do it right. If you screw up, just kill him, and then 1 wall climb like this, stationary spin jump. And this is your only option other than doing the stupid damage boost while morphed. And then from here you just crab this crab like this, climb this crab like this, and then drop down, and the rest is pretty easy from there. You can turn on gravity to make things a little faster. So you would drop down like this, drop down like this, come over here, click down, and then here's the best part of the entire run. This is one of my favorite parts about doing this route, and like this is one of the things that really excited me about doing this route. I'm sure everyone will know this by the time I'm pretty good at this category, but the tube is still here. As you remember, we never went to the tube. So you just morph, press up twice, and you go right through. It's the coolest trick in the entire game. I fell in love with that. I figured it out early. I didn't figure it out, but I discovered it early on, like through some sort of resource. It's probably DND, D-E-A-N-D-Y, or Y-D. But yeah, I think it was from there. I can't remember exactly where it came from. But I fell in love with that trick. I thought it was the coolest thing. I was like, oh man, not a lot of people know about that, I bet. I'm just gonna kind of go through this stuff as I talk. So yeah, I was like, oh man, not a lot of people know about that. I'm awesome for knowing about it. And then like, it was never really used anywhere. So that made sense why people didn't know about it, but now it's finally getting its time in the spotlight. So from here we're going to head into Lower North Fair. Now, you can do the high jumpless lava dive if you would like, and then you can waste super missiles in worst room in the game and stuff, or you can do the fun way. Now, I worked on the strat for this area a little bit today, so it should be a little bit more ironed out. It's still kind of tricky. But the premise is you're going to do G mode again. I don't think I actually said what that trick was called. The trick to get reversed into Meridia from Red Tower, where we, used X-ray to make the reserve go all crazy, called G mode. So I'm just stretching for a minute because I've been streaming for like an hour. Alright, so from here you'd want to, where do you want to go? You can try getting your reserve at the right spot. You know what I'm trying to say. You can try getting your reserve down to 4 without doing the any damage, health manipulation kind of stuff. Oh crap. There we go. Alright, so I got mine down to 4. So then you just want to take a bunch of damage as normal. You actually freeze this waiver to get up. I forgot to turn on speed booster, didn't I? This is actually a possible wall jump. If you want to do it for fun or something, you can go for it. I think it's actually possible with high jump too, or something like that. There's a different one that's really difficult that requires high jump. Come on, I can get this. Not a wuss. Whatever, we'll do it this way. Alright, so probably save when you get to the right health just in case you screw up. Saves you a little bit of time. I'm using pseudo screw to cancel my iframes. Dang. And this guy does 15 damage, just to throw that out there in case. Or sorry, 25 I meant. I bet. These guys do a lot of damage. Actually, they both do 25. Alright, so that's what you want to do. You want to get to that amount of health to where you're one hit away from dying by that guy. And then we're just doing G mode again. So just, you know the setup. So have 4 in your reserve. Make sure it's set to auto. Good. Then this guy's a lot easier. You kind of just walk through the door. He moves a lot. Do that. Now, the tricky thing about this one is you have 5 health. Holy crap. Okay. You have 4 energy. And to do this with only 4 energy is a little tricky. So if you just saw, I rolled to here, to about where these blocks are. These blocks don't match the platform, like 2 blocks below me. I went to about here and then I went back to the left. What you want to do is you want to tap left until you see yourself coming out of the hole again. Oh shit. Got hit by the projectile. So you don't want to fall out, that's the thing. If you had the mini-map, you can see when you enter that square again. It makes it a little bit easier. But what you want to do is you want to... I don't really feel like going into all the details about this, but basically the crumble blocks will still be there unless you do this. That's basically what it comes down to. So you need to do this. I do it at least twice. So I go to the blocks, and then I go back. Then I go to the blocks, and I go back one more time. And then once I see myself, I go to the right. Once I get to the blocks, I unmorph, jump. And then I kind of just keep jumping. And then once you pass this thing and you fall, that's when you just do one more jump. And you can hear yourself drop twice. And then just jump a couple times. If all you're getting is that, and you're not really like moving to the right anymore, you know you're in the right spot, you X-ray, everything turns on again, you just jump left and right, keep going left and right. Left and right, slowly scroll the screen over, and this will align everything back up. The reason we scroll the screen back, here, and there's somewhere else where we scroll the screen. Oh yeah, and after we X-ray climb. The X-ray climb thing is to align the door so that it doesn't, there's a bad transition. The reason we scroll the screen here is because the block tiles will be all screwed up and they won't be lined up properly. So just trust me, you want to scroll the screen back. Now from here we've got a bit of an issue because we only have 4 energy, and we're going through 3 musketeers, which is a pretty deadly room. What I do is I shoot these first 2 blocks and then I drop down. And then just as this guy passes, I drop down. I do an aim down, jump over him, an aim down, jump over him, and I can usually make it fast enough to get through here and come here. From here I wait for the lava to go 1 cycle, and I jump across, and I do this. Then I wait for 1 more cycle, drop down, wait for the fire, and then jump, and I'm good to go. Alright, so I'm just going to do it all again, just so you can see. And it's kind of something where you just like watch me do it. It's pretty self-explanatory. And it's actually really consistent too. The cycles are all the same and everything. I mean, the RNG of the cameras doesn't get affected by your position because you're above them, and you also screw up and start going down too early because you're dumb. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. So I usually crouch right on that little pillar in the background and shoot twice, and that usually kills the top 2 rows. And trust me, this is probably the most consistent strat, at least the key hunter part. It's definitely the most consistent strat. I worked with quite a few strats. If you find one that's more consistent, by all means, go for it. I just found this and it works for me, so I'm doing it. Yeah, exactly, dude. We're just pussies. Yeah, I mentioned that. We only have 4 HP, so it's a little tricky. And I'm really dumb. Today I was like trying to down back like this and then like that. All you need to do is do a spin jump and then go left and right and get hit by that guy. So yeah, this is quite dangerous because you only have 4 health, so keep that in mind. You can always just do the high jumpless lava dive, but then you need to like you waste supers and moisture in the game and stuff. And plus, high jumpless lava dive just sucks ass. This is actually pretty consistent once you get it down a little bit. I actually didn't really have a strat until today. Today I went through a nice little like working on strat session so that I could actually do a tutorial. So yeah, I didn't really have a strat the first couple times I did this, and I did it like 2 or 3 times in runs that I never finished. So yeah. So then you just do this, kill these guys because they're annoying. Put you at 14 health. Now, if you have more than 15 health, it's okay to just move on. If you want to farm a little bit, that's okay too. You know, whatever you want to do. I usually farm with the fumes at least. The fumes are the big head guys. I usually farm with them at least until I get the missiles. So here I charge a charge shot and then jump over that boulder and grab that drop like that. And then I get hit by that obviously because it's a good strat. And then now that I got my missile drop, I don't want to farm with the fumes anymore because I was just farming them to get the missile drop. Then you want to farm these guys to get your power bombs back. Now you should only be missing 2 power bombs because those would be the only ones you used. So you get 2 power bombs and then a big health. And ideally after the first farm you'd be at like over 100. I'm just going to tell you this as a general thing. You definitely don't want to get hit by a key hunter in this next room, the room right before the save. So don't even calculate that into anything. But for reference, they do 100 health, or 100 damage. What you need to be worried about though is that flame in Wasteland. Wasteland is the room after the powerbomb door. It's the room after this next room, where the powerbomb door is. So you go through the powerbomb door, that's Wasteland. That pillar of fire that you almost always get hit by, you can dodge it if you want. It only does 15, and you have 14 when you get into this room, and that should be the only thing you get hit by. So you can. That's why I said, if you have more than 15, you should be okay. And it's not bad to be risky, kind of, because there's a save right there. But if you want to be safe, you know, excuse me, if you want to be safe, you can farm this room as much as you want. Just keep re-entering and killing the fire fleas. I farmed the fumes until I have full missiles, and you saw the way that I farmed them. And then the Deskigos, the big Deskigos do 80. So I like to get above 95, so that I at least can take a mess-up hit from the Deskigos. It's not too big of a deal though because the save's right there. So you want to come in here, you want to at least be holding... crap. You want to at least be holding some sort of shot. Oh, whatever, you can see my farm strat again. And I missed the drop. Oh yeah, so for this guy, I kind of just stand on the edge here, crouch, back up a little bit and shoot him, you know, whatever works. Charge a shot, lay the power bomb right here on this platform. Don't load the other guy until he's dead. And start charging a shot. Jump over this boulder. Kill that one. No missile drop, whatever, I don't really give a shit, this is just practice. So yeah, I'll do it with not enough to survive the free Deskiga hit, but I would have, those were pretty shitty drops, I'm not gonna lie. So I would have 69 health after this, so even then I'd still have to do another farm session. But I'm just gonna go with this for now. So, you don't even actually need to be holding a shot, you can just hold a shot on the way in. And then you want to down back and shoot. Alright, so I'm gonna try and go over this. So just be holding some sort of shot. So like it doesn't even need to be fully charged, so I can do this and then walk through. And then just hold left and dash. Hit this thing, down, back, and shoot. And then drop down, come over here, wait. Drop down, go in, save. Alright, when you would save, you'd come out, you'd powerbomb this. You should have 5 power bombs at this point, there's no reason not to. Powerbomb this door. Select super so that you can bomb stuff. Or at least I select supers. Because I'm going to be going to power bombs next. So you take 15 damage right there. Now I can't survive any other hits. And then this is the new route strat, the one where you mock ball. If you want to find that strat, you can. I think Sweetnam has a new route tutorial, so you can go and check that, or you can watch any new route run. They basically all do it. And then you shoot this door, and then you just want to use 3 supers on these guys. You can jump over them if you want, if you're not comfortable with shooting through. You should already have a strat for shooting 3 supers on these guys. So I'm gonna go over that. Whatever works for you, really. I do it. I shoot 1 as they're turning around, then 1 like that, and then 1 like that. You can also wait for them to jump and do 1, 2, 3, like that. Or I think you can get away with 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure though. Or maybe 1, 2, 3, or something like 1, 2, 3. Like 1, 2. Yeah, that might work. Or like 1, 2, 3, something like that. I don't know. Whatever works for you. You should already know how to shoot them with 3 supers if you're going to be doing this category anyway. I'm just going to fill up my stuff. Can just go through this room quickly. So the way I do this room is I kill the first 2 little farmy dudes my way through, and the 3rd dude I actually wait for him. I damage boost off of him. I usually miss the damage boost and then I just go through, but you don't want to get hit by the owls. That's basically what I'm getting at. Then you farm up to full in this room. So you want to be at full everything. Crap. Oh my goodness. I was literally just about to save state too. I was like, alright, time to save state, and then I accidentally loaded my save. That's what you don't want to happen. So that's kind of why you might want to have the free hit, just because. But then again, you just save, so it's not too big of a deal. But if it really takes you a lot of tries, you might want to not have to. You might want to have that extra safety hit, just because, you know, again, whatever you're comfortable with works. So I'll go over my old strat. My newer strat is to shoot them when they turn around. My old strat was this. And then I load state because I'm dumb. Someone should like make a counter for how many times I do that. If you get lucky and he gives you a high, then you praise the Lord. That's seconds. That's literally the only thing I skipped. That and the suitless high jumpless Meridia part that I've already made a tutorial for. Like literally the entirety of suitless high jumpless Meridia. So my new strat is like this. My old strat is like this. So you can choose either one of them or come up with your own thing. Like I said, anything works. So I would normally farm that first guy, I would pay attention, farm the second guy, and then deboost like that. And I ideally would make it to the door platform, but it's not a big deal if you don't. And then you would, you know, farm up and everything in this room. I'm gonna go over how to farm. And then open the door, have full shit. Alright, now I'm gonna go over my Ridley strat, because I actually really like my Ridley strat. It's actually really consistent. So let me just go over some base things about Ridley. When he's pogoing, and you do a spin jump behind him, and he's at the height of a pogo and you break spin, he always turns around. It's almost a guarantee. Or, no, it is a guarantee that he turns around, as long as he's at the peak of his pogo. So if he's not in the middle of a single pogo. I don't mean a series of pogos, I mean like one single pogo. If he's at the height of it, that means he's like, he's kind of in a decision phase. He's like, alright, what the fuck do I do? And he's like, oh, I'm in a pogo series, I'm in a pogo. So you spin jump and you break spin, that'll tell him, yo, fucking turn around. He'll turn around. So that's good for if he's pogoing from left to right, and you want to flip him around so that you can get him in the wall or whatever. The other thing is, that's about it, I guess. And then in general, if you break spin while at around Ridley's height, you can talk to Edie. I've asked him multiple times, and I still, like, every time I ask him, I still don't understand it. I don't know, I'm insane. But you can ask Edie. Yeah, here we go. Pogo is the phase in which Ridley stops the AI type. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. I thought you would explain that part. Edie, can you explain the Ridley turnaround trigger? I actually think I have a very old explanation from you on text document form. I can throw that in the description too. it's just a video of you doing it, never mind. Yeah, okay, he's gonna explain it. So, check the chat if you want to see. There's chat replay on Twitch, and there's also chat on my stream. So, as he explains that, I'll go over my intro, or my opener for the Ridley fight with the 5 power bombs. So, for almost all low percent, you open with 5 power bombs. So, I start off with this. My goal is to double hit all of them, so I go kind of over here. Once his eye fully loads, I lay the first power bomb. So, boom. Then I wall jump on this silver block once, go up to that pink one, then wall jump again, then lay it in the middle. And then I kind of do a big jump, and then I wall jump off the silver block. Now, if all 5 of my things double hit, that should be 2,000 damage. Alright, so I screwed up with one of them didn't double hit, but it's pretty good in general. So let me kind of explain what I was saying there. So I lay the first one, right, and then I jump up to the silver block, do 1 wall jump, and there's this pink block right here, it's 2 blocks above it. I wall jump up to that pink block, and then I wall jump off the silver block. That's what I do on the first wall jump. And then, so I do that, and then I lay the power bomb, right? Then I jump up, and I do a big jump, and then I wall jump off the silver block, and I lay one in the middle. And then I keep doing it like that for each of the next ones. So, full eye, wall jump like that, wall jump like that. You don't want to get hit by his tail though. He can do a little swipe with his tail, and it's a huge bitch. I don't know why he's doing that. Oh, all of them double hit. And then from here, you wanna get him into a pogo however you can. So just keep breaking spin. Keep just jumping and breaking spin. There we go. Alright, and then like I said, you can do that, and he auto turns around. And then you just keep shooting him. You just do the normal strat to shoot him. You would do normal Ridley manipulation strats where you kind of get him to the one side, and then just kind of shoot at him. Once he turns around, you turn him back around. If he turns around like that, you kind of turn him back around like that. And then kind of just I'd say just practice the Ridley fight a little bit and get used to it. Because, you know, practice makes perfect. Just wait for when it comes toward you. And then I often fuck up like that and I wait too long. I really don't know what he's doing. Sometimes he does annoying stuff. I'm kind of just, I just want to get him down to the part where he starts swooping because there's something I want to explain about the swoop phase. So then I have a perfect opener. So yeah, the idea is to lay them in the very middle, so he kind of gets stuck in a loop in that corner. Because his AI during powerbomb explosions is kind of weird. And then during the 5th one, I wall jump a couple times, and then I break spin and right in front of him. That way I can kind of get into pogo. And he usually gives me shitty fire. I usually just take it, because it's only 30. Now I'm just going to put him right into swoop phase, just because I want to go over that a little bit. I should swoop, there we go. So swoop, I do 1 wall jump, a big one, and another one. And I shoot the shot right there. And then I wait for him to, he kind of charges me. And then I do this. And then I jump up, and I break spin. And that usually puts him into pogo. If it doesn't, then I go back and get ready for the swoop. And then I put him into pogo like that. The reason I don't put him into pogo the first time, when he does the first swoop, is because I don't like it when he's on the left side and I force him, because then he'll pogo like this, and then I can turn him around, and sometimes he pogos down into here like that, like he just did to grab me. He'll pogo down there and he'll shoot fire, and it'll land on the right side of the platform, and it will be very, very, very difficult to dodge. So, just like this, and then shoot, 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 and then shoot, break spin, and then you get him to pogo, so like that. That way he's already in the stuck spot, and he'll usually auto turn around, and you can turn him back around. And doing that, ED probably explained this, but doing the auto force turnaround thingy starts a whole new pogo cycle for him, and you can actually do that to get him stuck into pogo forever, like basically the entire fight until he gets too fast. And then once he's red, I would actually have 15 and 5, so I could just super him to death, which I'm going to do now because I don't feel like fighting him anymore. But yeah, I'd say just, you know, work with him a little bit. I went over a couple of the AI things that I know. So you can kind of work with it and make your own strats and everything. And yeah, good luck. Ridley fight's one of the more annoying fights at Low Ice, or at X Ice, because you don't have gravity, so it's a pain in the balls. So yeah, I'm just gonna credit it my time right now. Scroll up a little bit, let you read that. You can pause it and stuff. So there's that. That message. I'm actually gonna copy paste that into my Ridley text file. Alright, there you go. So, from here, I'd recommend farming to about full, to be honest. Because it is a bitch getting out of low warfare without gravity. And like without taking a shit ton of damage. So let me just go over some of the main areas. This is all pretty self-explanatory. The strat for this room is just the same one, just in reverse. So you do the jump, then you just... And I usually just do big jumps and then I get me through the guys and then this guy. I usually actually get a hit from them at last set because it's hard to... They're kind of in the way of the farm bug dude. But yeah, it's kind of a pain on the way back there. This room is the one I wanted to talk about though. This one is a pain in the ass. Oops. So I was working on strats earlier today, and this is the most consistent strat I could come up with. That guy that was originally on the left side of these blocks, you want to kill him. This is like if you want to take no hits at all. Your goal is to just get to the save with a good amount of health. So kill him, alright, and then jump morph like this. And then wait for that guy to jump to where he is, so wait for a low hop. And then jump into that ceiling like that. That was a little bit too early of a jump. There we go, like that. And you usually won't get hit. It's still a little tricky. I'd say practice that one a good bit. I practiced it a lot today, and I'm still not perfect with it. But that should get you out of there with only like only a small amount of damage. You should have at least 200 health in your energy tanks at least still. And then from here on, you can actually be a little less careful because I wait for him to. Okay, so for this guy's a little tricky too. I wait for him to strike me to the right, and I jump up. And I usually just fucking jump over him, but I got hit that time. So let's pretend I got hit not at all there. So then you would save, right? I need to exit here. Now, there's a cool little strat that I came up for this room that, with the help of ED. Oh, is he still sending messages? Thanks for the explanation, by the way, ED. I really appreciate it. Not sure if that's a new message or not, but alright, so you can pause the video and stuff to read ED's chat. So anyway, with the help of ED, I came up with this strat. So you walk through the door, and if you wait a small second, he'll actually swoop on you. That. So I kind of like figured out a way to time this, and what I did was I looked at the map. The map will blink 4 times yellow. It'll go boop, boop, boop. That. Oh, that was 3, but you get the picture. So once it blinks that 4th time, you move forward. So I'm gonna kind of simulate it because I don't have the map. So you see. And then here I kind of just give up and take a hit. Like, there's really nothing you're going to do unless you're going to wait for them all to go. And from this point, it's okay to be at below 100, which I'll get myself down there, why not? It's perfectly fine to be below 100 because you still have the reserve. You should have the reserve. The reserve is like your best friend here. Keep that thing full. Because that will save your ass in the Three Musketeers room. And that's why I'm saying, like, dude, definitely get the reserve. It gets you a free pass out of Dragon's room. You know, it gets you a free pass with the grab. And it's really helpful in some other places. It kind of fucks you up at Ridley, but once you lose a whole tank, just use it, and then it'll be okay. I'm not sure if I saved it. So, here I kind of just reserve buffer the way I was doing it before with Dragon. So I set it to manual. Now I wall jump and morph and press start. Empty a little bit. Wall jump, morph, press start. Empty a little bit. Wall jump, morph, press start. and then I usually empty enough so that I have like 43 in there. That way if I get hit again by this guy, my iframes won't go away while the reserves trigger. So like right here, I can still keep going. That gave me a free hit. But let's say, let's do it like this. So let's say your reserves trigger, and then you have full, you have 100. Well, watch what happens. They trigger, and then during the reserve, my iframes run out. I get hit again. You don't want that to happen. So you want to have a low enough number to where you can, you know, your iframes don't run out while the reserve is going. And that's basically it for Three Musketeers. That was my strat right there. And so as you can see, this reserve is very OP. And then what do you do from there? You would go through Bubble Mountain and stuff. Just, you know, make your way back. I usually take the route through Crockemeier's area, so I drop down at the farming station. I go through the blue gate. And then I go up to that area where Grapple is. I jump over the missile pack, open the green gate, and I'm in Business Center. You can also go through the standard path, which is like past Cathedral and like the Rising Acid Room. Either one is a perfectly viable option. And then you just make your way back to Mother Brain, go through Red Tower, get to the ship, and then that's about it, I guess. So let's just say you make it all the way to the ship, and then you just go to G4, do Torian. I'm not really gonna go over Mother Brain. I know I kind of should, but it's kind of just low ice, to be honest. I mean, if you're gonna be taking on this challenge, you probably already have a good strat for Mother Brain, so I'm not really gonna try and, like, this isn't like the most beginner guide. I just kind of wanted to go over the weird things that are unique to X-Ice. Like, I wanted to go over my Ridley strat because that's kind of major. I'm trying to think. Just teleport to here. Okay, well, the other stuff is definitely pretty simple. I'd say everything else about Turian. Make sure you have full supers, you know, standard stuff. Oh, a big note. If you don't know how to use the reserve to get past Rainbow Beam, am I not on to pause the game anymore? What's going on? There we go. Alright, so make sure your reserve is full. Don't empty it before the Metroid. The Metroid won't empty your reserve. So make sure your reserve is full. I'd say save the ship just because it's not like it's the world record. Like, it's not like we've grinded this run down super far anyway. So I'd say just save on the ship anyway. And that way you'll have your full reserve, you'll know you'll have it. And then as long as you don't go into reserve, which wouldn't really happen in Turian, but if it happens, I guess, make sure it gets filled up by the Metroids. Just leave it be. Don't empty it. Don't change the manual. Just leave leave the thing. The big Metroid won't mess with it at all. Just leave the reserve. Fill up your health, the energy refill, and then continue. And then just leave it on auto right now. Don't touch it at all. And then I'll go over what to do with the reserve when you kill Mother Brain, I guess. So, Zeb skip is normal. Just do it like that. And I'm sure you know how to. You should know how to at least do Mother Brain 1. Nine missiles, 9 supers, and then reload your save state like an idiot. So what is that, like the 7th time I've done that? Probably even more. I'll just explain it because I don't feel like getting all the way there anymore. So you would fight Mother Brain and everything. I'm not going to go over my strat. I just use the bomb strat. You bomb the bombs, and you fight her like normal. Edu also has a strat where he pseudo screws through the catch-up, so you can do that if you want. Your choice, you know. Practice a couple different things. Talk to people. Talk to Kojak. Kojak's really good with Varia, Ridley, and Varia on the Brain. He does Ice Booster. Talk to, you know, some people that do hardcore low percent, like maybe Zost, ask him what he does. He has his tutorial for low percent, so you can check that and see what some of his safe strats are. Talk to 2Cat, he's got a lot of good low percent strats. Yeah, just talk to people, ask people if you're not sure. So anyway, you finish the fight, right? And let's say you have 234 health in your E-tanks and you have 100 in your reserves. Just don't touch them. Leave them on auto. Get rainbowed, you'll go to 0, then it'll fill your reserves, and you'll take the rest of the damage. Just sit there. If you want to see what actually happens, you can go watch my world record video. It's a, what is my time right now? It's a 5406. I feel like maybe that's the amount. $241.06. Okay, $241.06. So you can watch that. You can see what happens. You can see my mother brain strategy. You can see all my shit. I guess that about wraps it up. So yeah, good luck with X Ice. Everybody's gonna try it. And yeah, and then let me just go over real quick what I said I would link in the description. I highly recommend checking it out. My suitless high jumpless Meridian tutorial, that is a good thing. Even if you're skipping Main Street, you still need it for the rest of the area, so definitely use that. I'd recommend checking Sweetnum's 90% new route tutorial. It's actually on his Hitbox, not on his Twitch. It might be on his YouTube. But I highly recommend checking that out for that strat and wasteland I was talking about. I'll link my world record video just for fun if you want to check that out as a resource. I'll link ED's demonstrational video if you want to look at his video for strats. His are not optimized strats, it's just some old shit that he did just to show that the thing is possible, that the category is possible. That's about it for links, I guess. So yeah, if you want to ask me any questions, you can contact me on the Super Metroid Discord, or on Skype, Metroid228, or on Twitch. I don't really check the Twitch PM though, so that wouldn't be a good idea. Anyway, peace out.